7 neighbors signed a letter. One circulated the petition, and the HOA delivered it on a Wednesday afternoon in a manila envelope like it was something official, something final, something that required a response within 30 days. The letters said the same thing the entire street had been saying since Megan Torres moved in with her 4-month-old son and her 143-pound brindle cane Corso. Dangerous animal, unsuitable for a residential community, liability risk. Please remove the dog from the premises or face formal proceedings. Megan met it twice. Then she set it on the kitchen counter next to Bear's food bowl and went to make dinner. Bear looked at the letter. Then he looked at her. He already knew what she was going to decide. Megan was 34, a real estate agent in Elk Grove, California, recently divorced and the mother of a 4-month-old boy named Cole. She was not a person who backed down from things. She had sold 41 homes the year before, 7 of them to people who told her up front they weren't buying. Those 41 homes had taught her that most people don't know what they want until they're standing inside what they were afraid to try. She had moved into this house 4 days after the divorce was finalized, Cole 3 months away, and the quiet that filled every room at night had been the kind of quiet you learn to outrun. She had gotten Bear 8 months before Cole was born. A colleague mentioned a dog at Riverside Rescue, surrendered twice, waiting. She went on a Thursday afternoon just to look. She told herself that 4 times on the drive over. Bear was in kennel 11, facing the corner, the exact posture of an animal that had learned expecting anything only made things harder. Brindle coat like tiger stripes cast in shadow, a head nearly as wide as the kennel gate, amber eyes that caught the fluorescent light and held it. The shelter worker said, "He's 143 pounds. He's been returned twice. Families said he was too intense." Megan crouched down. Bear didn't move. She stayed there for 11 minutes. Then Bear turned around. She signed the papers the following morning. The first 3 weeks were a reliable disaster. Bear's tail alone was a structural hazard. He cleared the coffee table in a single sweep without appearing to notice. He knocked the baby monitor off the shelf at 6 a.m., which was how Megan learned Cole was already awake. He claimed the couch with the confidence of someone who had consulted a lawyer. Megan tried moving him twice. Bear would wait for her to leave the room, then return to exactly the same position with the patience of someone who already knew how this was going to end. Cole's activity mat lasted 4 days. Bear discovered it, lay down completely on it, and yawned in a way that could only be described as final. The drool operated on its own schedule and answered to no one. Megan found a puddle the size of a dinner plate under the kitchen table every single morning. She started keeping paper towels on the counter full time and wearing shoes inside the house. Both became permanent adjustments. Neither bothered her as much as she expected. The HOA letter arrived in week 6. A neighbor across the street, a retired man named Gerald, had already told Megan in the driveway that her dog was an accident waiting to happen. A woman 2 doors down had called the county non-emergency line. 3 more had signed the petition without ever being within 20 feet of Bear. Here is what none of them knew. Bear had begun sleeping at Cole's door every night starting in week 2. Not because Megan asked, not because of training, command, or arrangement. He had simply decided one Tuesday evening to lie down outside the nursery and had not missed a single night since. Every morning at 6 o'clock, he would stand, walk to Megan's bedroom doorway, hold there for 4 seconds, then return to his post, like something that understood shift work. If you've made it this far and still haven't subscribed, that honestly hurts a little. Hit the subscribe button. What happens next is the part that changes everything. Megan filed her response to the HOA on a Friday morning. She attached a letter from Bear's veterinarian, a certified evaluation from a licensed trainer, and 12 photographs of Bear lying beside Cole's bouncer while Cole slept. The trainer's note read, "This dog is one of the most socially stable animals I have evaluated in 11 years of practice." She did not hear back for 6 weeks. 6 weeks of walking past that manila envelope on the kitchen counter every morning and choosing not to throw it away. In the meantime, life continued at the pace Bear had already decided. He rode in the passenger seat every morning, occupying 2/3 of the front seat with an expression of complete authority. He walked the trail beside the stroller in the afternoons, and people who had crossed the street began, slowly, to cross back. One woman stopped to ask what breed he was, then asked if she could pet him. Bear sat down without being told and held perfectly still. Gerald watched from his driveway. He didn't say anything. On a Sunday in March, Megan drove them to the coast. She ran the shoreline with Bear off-leash, Cole strapped to her chest in a carrier, and for the first time in almost a year, the inside of her head was quiet. Just sand and cold air and 143 pounds of brindle cane Corso charging through the shallows beside her, like this was the only place either of them had ever needed to be. At Granite Park one Saturday, a woman on a bench watched Bear work through a training session in the grass for 20 minutes before walking over. "I thought dogs like that were dangerous," she said. Megan looked at Bear, sitting motionless in the sun, waiting for the next command. "Depends on who's doing the looking," she said. On a cold Tuesday night in November, 4 months after the HOA letter arrived, Megan woke at 3:09 in the morning with Bear standing at her bedside, pressing his enormous head against her arm, not barking, pushing, steady, deliberate, insistent, in a way he had never done before. She sat up. The house was quiet. She walked to the nursery. Cole's face was flushed. His skin was hot in a way that was wrong. She took his temperature, 104.1 degrees. She drove to the emergency room at 3:24 in the morning. The pediatrician said she got there at the right time. The fever had spiked fast. They kept Cole until morning. He was home by noon, asleep in his crib, Bear already back at his post outside the door. Megan stood in the hallway a long time, thinking about 3:09, about the push of that head against her arm, about how she had almost silenced her phone that night. Almost. The HOA withdrew the complaint 10 days later. Gerald left a bag of dog treats on her porch that Sunday without explanation or apology. He knocked twice and walked away before she answered the door. Megan left them on the step until Bear investigated personally. He approved. Bear is 4 years old now. He still owns the couch. The drool situation remains permanently unresolved. He still rides shotgun with the expression of someone overseeing a complex logistics operation. And the petition that 7 neighbors signed is in a drawer in Megan's house. She has not thrown it away. She keeps it because every few weeks, when she watches Bear lying outside Cole's door in the dark, patient and still and completely certain of his purpose, she wants to remember what 7 people saw when they looked at that same animal. They were wrong about what was dangerous. What was dangerous was the idea that something that size could only mean one thing. A dog's size tells you nothing. Watch what he does when the house is quiet and the lights are off and nobody has asked anything of him at all. That is where you find out exactly what he is. Would you have fought to keep a 143-pound cane Corso that your entire neighborhood wanted gone? Tell me in the comments. 7 neighbors signed the petition. The HOA gave her 30 days to remove him. 143 pounds of brindle cane Corso that an entire street called dangerous. Then, on a cold Tuesday night in November, at 3:09 in the morning, that dog walked into her bedroom and pressed his enormous head against her arm until she woke up. What she found in the nursery 30 seconds later was the reason she never threw that petition away.